Hey, hello everyone. We are starting a podcast with the member of the Bridge2Food Global Advisory Board, and the first volunteer has been Kevin Camphuis. And I would like to ask Kevin first, thank you for being part of this experience. I would like to ask you to introduce yourself.
Um, I spent 20 years in the industry, but not in the food industry. I used to work for the world leader of kitchen appliances. So I was dealing with kitchen processors, stick mixers, kettles, and raclette makers. And I was in charge of innovation and even breakthrough innovation because after 15 years inside this company, I was tasked to create their disruption lab. It was in 2010, and this is where I entered a new era of my life, which was about open innovation, disruptive innovation, collaboration with external parties coming with breakthrough projects and technologies. And I loved it so much that after 5 years, I decided to step out and to create my own venture and my own activity, which is a shaker factory. And it's somehow the continuation of that because at Shaker Factory, we not only support entrepreneurs and startups, but we also help corporations, investors, organization work and build on and with startups. So we gradually have built an ecosystem of more than 300 partners where we constantly manage to build synergies and to unveil possibilities of experimentation and collaboration between the startups that come with the new breakthrough technologies that will make the future of food, and the old guys in need to adapt, disrupt themselves, and work with them in order to invent what would be in our plates in the future.
And tell me, thank you, Kevin, for this introduction. Tell me, how do you connect on this disruptive innovation with the sustainable protein that we are focused on the ecosystem?
It's to make a long story short, in the course of the past 2 years, inside one of our partners organization, which is ERIT Food, I had the chance to be instrumental in building a think tank where we gather even some of the partners of the Bridge2Food, and we reflect together on what shall we do if we want to accelerate the transition to lower impactful practices. Knowing that food is now the most impactful of any industry, how can we reduce its impact? And if we do it, we'll all be better and we can all survive on our planet. And it happened that during that exercise of think tank and reflection, it came to us that there are 3 main priorities. First is transition to agroecological practices. The second one is carbon farming. And the third one is protein diversification.
Very good. Well said. Diversification means including plant-based, but also mycoprotein, single cell, hybrid as well. Are you a conscious omnivore or you are a vegetarian yourself?
I've turned vegetarian.
Really? 100%?
90%.
Flexitarian, mainly.
Yeah. I hardly eat any meat. I still love fish and crustacean, but and it's absolutely not by. It's really because I tend to understand how impactful it can be to change our own practices, and it's also an exercise where you learn how to turn vegetables into palatable dishes.
Since when you are 95% vegetarian?
I would say 5 years.
5 years? Okay,
Yeah.
and if you go back 10 years from now, what would be the recommendation to Kevin in your journey? What you will do different?
In 10 years
10
or
years back.
ago?
So back, you go 10
Yeah.
years back and you
Yeah.
have Kevin Camphuis 10 years younger. And in that journey on the profession, what you will do different?
I don't think I would change anything.
Okay, that's important and interesting. So you are convinced of having taken the right decisions.
No, I'm happy with the journey.
Okay, okay.
And I'm deeply ultra motivated by the coming journey.
Okay,
So
the future.
if I could have been able to accelerate the time, I would have, like anyone, loved to do it. However, where we are today is the most passionating era that I've ever seen. It's ultra challenging. We have a responsibility that is absolutely incredible. And even if it took time to come there, I'm sure that now we are equipped like never before, and it's just in our hands and upon us to make it happen.
Kevin,
And even in the journey of Bridge2Food, we have the same understanding that things need to.
And we are in this ecosystem together. You are a member of the board with other 11 members from the B2B, B2C academia. So it's a great team, a great combination of diverse experience. You have to speak to the whole ecosystem that we have in place. You know that this ecosystem is already decided and convinced that the sustainable protein solution are very important for the planet and for the human diet. What would be your elevator pitch to the member of the ecosystem?
We shall all be, and we are, in fact, all responsible for what will happen. And it's upon us to do it. We know what are the solutions. And no one else better than we are equipped to do it. If we now face the fact that our activities are the most polluting of every industrial activities, and if we don't show the way, how can we blame the others to not do it? So we shall do it. And given what we know, given the understanding that we have, it's more than our duty, it's our responsibility to do it. And we can only do it if we do it together, because it's such an ecosystemic, holistic transition that we have to go through, that it's about change management. It's about working together in a way that was not the case before. And Bridge2Food is probably one of the most pioneering ecosystem to make it happen.
And I think that is great, the way that you said that. This is a movement in we have many people in the ecosystem involved and convinced and engaged on that movement. How do you see the movement in 2050?
15?
50.
50. Hola.
So that means it's in about 26 years from now. Remember the Gartner hype curve that we said that we should be moving to the slope of enlightenment and going to the mainstream. But it was very important, the decision that we're taking today to get to that future. How do you see the future 25 years from now?
I'm convinced, building on my understanding of human being and our unique capability to survive, that we'll be happy in 25 years. I wouldn't say it would be easy, but we will have found ways to make our life better in 25 years.
Okay, so you are optimistic.
I'm optimistic.
Okay, okay, that's good.
Yeah, because we've never have been so smart, so knowledgeable. We have never had such an understanding of systems, of the interaction between every levels and every aspect of our businesses and activities that are interconnected. And we are more knowledgeable than ever how agri and food work and should better work and coordinate together. However, the conditions in which we will be living and the condition of business would, I think, be very different.
Okay. And everybody is talking about artificial intelligence, how this tool can help to accelerate that movement. Is any enlightening around artificial intelligence use in our category?
I have the chance to sit at the side of, in our incubator here, we have, for example, a team of people that are building what we name digital twin of fermentation processes. I see what they are about to make happen and to make live in. And when I say that it's a new era, it's not a new era in terms of responsibility, but it's also a new era in terms of the tools that we will be equipped with to make it happen. However, I'm not the kind of guy who would make prediction that like any guru would do. Definitely, it will help.
And it will be part of our reality moving forward.
But at the end of the day, we are still talking about reality, ingredients, stuff that we need to change, and AI will not make crop grow faster or 10 times faster. So we still have to cope with biological processes. And I think that in our businesses and in our environments, AI will have its parts, but biotechnologies may probably have a much stronger importance.
Very good.
And impact.
Kevin, you were part of different ecosystem call, and you might recall that the agreement from the audience attending the different subject identify that the key constraint, blocking stone, or area that we need to overcome in the sustainable protein solution that are existing today was taste and texture, parity price in the market compared to the animal counterpart, nutrition and availability of these formulated sustainable food and beverage, clean label naturality perception by the consumer that they are really understand what is in the labeling. So anything that in that list you believe that is missing?
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh, it's already so much.
Okay.
But it's also the complexity of food.
And regulation, because when we talk about labeling, is also involved on regulation, no?
I'm sorry to say, but regulation has always been the thing that everybody claims to be a constraint, but it's just the wrong problem.
Okay, it's not a major concern for you.
No, it's not a concern. It's just that regulation is a need. It's a priority, and it's a constraint, or I would say it's barriers that are upon us and that we need to cope with, and for the better, in fact, because we're talking about food, so we are talking
Yeah.
about something that we ingest.
Yeah.
So how can we ask regulation to be lighter
Okay.
if it's at the risk of life? So
Full trust on
regulation,
regulation. Yeah. Okay.
so regulation can always go faster, but when I see what regulation is today and what I would say, you have regulation and you have policy.
Yeah.
So regulation is what it is. It's maybe speed up, okay, but most of the startups that I know who may claim against regulation constraints are, for the most of them, not ready to go through regulatory approval yet.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
Then
you,
there
Kevin.
is policy, and policy may be decisive and should be seen as a potentially super helpful support to accelerate the transition.
Okay.
Thanks to eco scores and thanks to taxonomies and regulation of markets that can ensure to accelerate parity between plant-based and other types of foods.
Yeah, very good. So, Kevin, put in my place now and ask yourself a question that you would like to address. Ask a question to Kevin Camphuis.
I don't know.
What will be something that you would like to comment and say and disseminate in your own experience and your key message before closing?
What I want to share. So I don't come from the food industry. So I always keep kind of an outsider's perspective to this business. And as an outsider, I can only confirm that I've heard so much about innovation in the food industry that has nothing to see with innovation, in fact. So too many people claim that this is an innovative business. It isn't at all. And we are just scratching the surface of what innovation means now that we start talking about plant-based foods or plant-based ingredients. When we talk about biotechnologies, AI, this is innovation, and it's just the beginning.
And you are
it will have an impact that most people don't underestimate or don't imagine. And this is why I'm so, I would say, honored to be now at the side of people like you and all the people that have joined Bridge2Food to help give you kind of a perspective of what I see coming and how I see that your businesses, your activities, your responsibilities will be enhanced by all those innovations. So,
and you are connected with
the future is bright.
Yes, and I like your optimistic approach and vision. You are connected with a lot of startup, entrepreneurial, and innovator. What is the role that bigger companies in the ecosystem? We have also big players in the food and beverage industry or the ingredients. What could be your request to the big player to consider the relationship with the startups?
My recommendation is to allocate the relevant and the needed resources to accompany the emergence and the setup of a proper open innovation activities and stream that is parallel to what you're used to do in your own innovation stream. What I mean is that if you look at the pharma industry, it took them 10 years to to transition 80 to 90% of their innovation to open innovation. No new medicine and no new product comes from traditional pharma industry. The role of the pharma players, the big guys, is to take, test, scale, deploy. It will be the same for food, but where most big food players are today is this open innovation team and setup internally that can be the right interface between the multiple players that are outside and ready to scale and the internal guys who are absolutely not ready to play with them.
Okay, very good. And in terms of the startup profile, describe to me in a very short sentence, what is the ideal profile of one startup? Based on all the knowledge that you have and the different startup companies that you know, what will be the ideal profile for a startup?
What do you mean by ideal profile?
What is the scope and the subject, the type of approach that they have to be attractive in the market and to provide some contribution on the movement? As we know, many startups start and then they are out of the market. So what is the ideal startup to have a best successful journey?
The success of startup is about people. Yeah. Anyone at one point of a time can find a technology or address technology constraints or make technological breakthrough. The reason why some succeed where others fail, it's about the people and about the mindset of the people who support the development of those ideas and push those ideas to become breakthrough. Mindset means a complementarity of being very open and free but also be very mindful and knowledgeable of the environment and constantly adapt to the constraints of acceptance or the limits of acceptance of the market.
Very good. So human skill remain very important.
Human skill.
Excellent. Yeah. Very good.
Yeah.
So Kevin, I really enjoy
in your team. It's not the most skilled who succeed.
It is.
Or
You're right.
Not the technical skills.
And the skill to communicate in a way with empathy and honesty.
And to work together. You know, the best guy with the best idea alone by himself will never change anything.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Kevin, for this time together. I really appreciate and I wish you all the best for you and the future.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.